Greetings, everybody. I want to welcome you aboard the Prog Monster Express. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So it's August the 10th. We're doing my 22nd of my favorite 4-album runs for the month of August. The series we're running all month long, which basically I pick 4 albums that run concurrently to each other chronologically from 1, 2, 3, 4 along, from rock bands, of course, but only 2 of the bands had, actually 4 of the bands had multiple 4-album runs, but today's not one of those bands, but this is one of the better ones. It's really strong. They're getting stronger as we go along, I think. I own 3 of the 4 albums here. Ironically, the one that I don't own was the one that launched the band for me. I had it in vinyl. I loved it. I just never got it in CD yet. Although I see it at the store, but I've come close a couple times, but bought something else instead. But next time around, it'll be one of the ones I get. I'm almost certain of it this time. So anyways, we're going to start out with the band Marillion. Yes, and their debut album, The Script for a Jester's Tear. Absolutely a killer album. A great, for me, what this album did wasn't just launch Marillion, which it did, but it reintroduced me to the idea that progressive rock wasn't finished. By the time that album had come out in, I think it was in 83 or 84, 83 it came out. By that time, I was already convinced that progressive rock was dead, and my interest in rock music was waning because of that, although I did move into some different genres of music. But this album launched it for me again, put that idea in my head. And so when I did finally start coming back to progressive rock, that was the album that came into my mind, Script for a Jester's Tear. He Knows You Know, It's such a great tune. Even the title track is fantastic as well on that album. Then we moved to their second album, another album with the artwork done by Mark Wilkinson. Absolutely killer artwork. He's I think he's really quite gifted in creating imagery. Very good. So this album is fairly new to me still. It's waiting its turn to go into my playlist, although I've listened to it a half dozen times already because I think it's great. Assassinating, really good. Punch and Judy, Jigsaw, Emerald Lies, She Chameleon, Incubus, and Fugazi. All really killer tracks. I'm warming up to this album quite a bit already. So it definitely is a upward rising album. As of all 4 of those original Marillion albums did the exact same thing for me. They started out kind of with me quizzically listening to them, and then they just steadily grew stronger and stronger. And this album is no different than the rest of those. The third album, up until recently, was my favorite Marillion album of all time. I love the cover. I love that whole Mark Wilkinson kind of imagery that he likes to play. This album is proliferated with some great tunes too. Pseudo Silk Kimona, which is absolutely killer. I was going to show you the picture, but it's hard to get these ones back into their wallet, so I'll just leave it. Kaylee, of course, which was their big hit, radio hit. Fantastic tune as well. Lavender, I like that a lot. Bittersweet. This one's a good one as well. Heart of Lothian, fantastic tune. Wide Boy and Curtain Call, really great. The last track on here, one of the tracks on here, Blind Curve, I love that a lot as well. Childhood's End, killer track. This is a great album. Just one of those albums that's eventually going to become up for review for masterpiece album for me. At this point in time, when it was on the playlist, it was my favorite all-time Marillion album. But it has been supplanted by this one. This is now my favorite Marillion album, Clutches with Straws. Ironically, it's the best of those Fish era albums, I think. The album cover is good. Look at the attitude going on there, man. Wow. has some serious attitude. This is a darker album, really emotionally draining in some ways, but all the tracks are killer. It's unfortunate this had to be the end for Marillion, just when I think they were reaching for the stars here, and then he goes on his own. And the band actually did its own stuff and has been doing its own stuff since then. It's just gone in a direction that doesn't really interest me at all. I know people say that Hogarth is a better sounding vocalist and all this stuff, and that's great that they feel that way about him, but I kind of like that fish sound to his voice. It sounds almost anguished a lot of the times. An absolute killer. Hotel Hobbies, Warm Wet Circles. Warm Wet Circles is one of the best deep cut tracks of any Marillion album, I think. Just so friggin' good. The Time of Night, A Short Straw. Going Under, including guitar solo. Just for the Record, White Russian, all good tracks, solid tracks. Incommunicado. This is another one of those deep cuts that people just, it's just such a catchy tune. Torch Song, Saint Math, Sugar Mice, and The Last Straw, which is the happy ending. This is a strong album from top to bottom. Kind of heavy too. A lot of complex signatures and music. What do they call it? Can't think of it. A lot of complex musical scores, stuff like that. Really good. The vocals are fantastic throughout the album, and the lyrics are like gripping. This is the best album for that gripping lyrics part by them. He just draws you into his story. You know, he lays his emotions on his sleeve. Really great album. I love this one. I think it's my favorite now. But they're all pretty close. I think they're all great. Those first 4 Fish albums. I'm kind of lost interest in Marillion after. I do have several of their albums that come with Steve Hogarth as a vocalist, but they just don't really do anything for me. So, but these 4, absolutely killer. I love them. They deserve to be here today. I hope you like this. I hope you subscribe. And don't forget to make your comments about this collection of 4 here and your own collection. And I'll just reiterate them again just before we go off. So we got Script for a Jester's Tear, the first one. Fugazi, their second album. Misplaced Childhood, third. And of course, it ends off with Clutches with Straws, which is their 4th one. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. So we will see you for episode number 21 tomorrow. We have another interesting foursome. Hopefully to see you then. Take care and have a good one. Goodbye.